Hi, my name is Shota, and today I'm going to talk about attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And this is actually called ADHD. And I think this is very common to hear such words. And ADHD is a brain developmental disorder, and there are some features. For example, lack of attention. They cannot concentrate on something else or forget instructions, get bored easily, transits from one to another when they have not finished the task yet. Also, the future 2, action without thinking. So this is about, for example, they talk over the others when the other people are talking, and they have a shorter temper, which means, for example, they are easily getting angry, and this actually causing accidents. Feature 3, overactive. This means they have no rest, so they are always active, which means they are having less sleep. Feature 4, lack of the skill of emotional control. This has a connection with feature 2. So as I mentioned before, they are very easily to get angry or very emotional, for example. Okay, now I'm going to talk about types of ADHD. So there are actually 3 types. 1. ADHD, predominantly inattentive type. So this is about not paying attention well. Some symptoms are, for example, if your child is not giving close attention, not listening to people when their directory is spoken to, not following instructions, they are not willing to do tasks such as activities or experiences. They are not keeping items, so easily to forget where they put some items. They are not concentrating, and they are not remembering daily routines. Another type of ADHD is predominantly hyperactive impulsive type. So this means when the child is doing something without thinking. For example, if they are not staying in their seats such a long time, if they cannot sit in their seats such a long time during the class, they have this type of ADHD. Also, if they are not walking when required, for example, if you as a teacher tell the children that you cannot run in the classroom, but they are not listening to you, and if they are keeping on running, this is the type. Also, they are not doing quiet time activities. The example is during the sleep time, if they don't want to go to sleep and they are told to do quiet activities and they just can't do it. They are not being able to wait to answer while completely the questions. For example, if you as a teacher ask the children some questions, right? And if that child started answering the question before you finish questioning him, he has this type. And also when they are not waiting in turns. For example, this is including when they are interrupting the conversation between other 2 people. And when a child has both symptoms, he or she is categorized as ADHD combined type. Okay, now I'm going to talk about causes. Actually, the causes of ADHD is unknown, so we don't know why this is happening. However, there are some cases that could be considered as a causes. 1. The brain. So functions of the brain, nervous system might be the cause. 2. When they are not having enough attachment in early years, it might be the cause of ADHD. Substance misuse. For example, when the woman is pregnant and during the pregnancy, when they are smoking or they are using drugs, that could be cause of ADHD. Unhealthy eating. When people are not having healthy eating, they are not having enough metal, lack of metal could be the cause. Okay, so now what we can do, I'm going to talk about early interventions. So something we can do as educators or as parents is, first, we can make consistent routine. It's very important for child with ADHD to have routine, so they will understand what they have to do in every morning, lunchtime, or something like that. But for example, when they have no such a routine, they are going to get confused. 2. Making simple rules. So it's also important to make the simple rules rather than complicated rules. 3. Getting full attentions from the child. This actually means physically close. So when you are talking to the child with ADHD, it's better to be close to the child, and for example, giving cuddles or let them sit on your lap or something like that, and you can start talking, so they are ready to listen to you. 4. Giving one direction at once. It's better to do this pedagogy if you are giving many complex directions. For example, go wash your hands, dry your hands, and come and sit down at the table for your lunch. This is going to make the child complicated. So it's better to have one direction. For example, just go wash your hands. That's it. Then once they finish washing their hands, you can just tell them, then you can dry your hands. Then once they dry their hands, you can just tell them, now you can sit down. 5. Checking them if they understand. Repeating is the key. You have to repeat what you are saying and also ask them to repeat. Let's have the same example. When you want to ask them to go to the toilet, you can just say, you can go to the toilet. And you can ask them as well, what did I say? And they are going to repeat what you have said. 6. Acknowledging what they have done. It's also very important to recognize what they have done and praise them. For example, when you told them to pack toys away, and they actually did it, right? And once you saw them packing away and finished, you can just tell them, good job, you have done a good job, or something like that. So they are going to get motivation. So I'm talking about inclusive teaching strategies. The first pedagogy is to show what to do visually for them. For example, we can use pictures of washing hands when you want them to go wash their hands, or put pictures of routines on the wall so that they can check what to do on a certain time when you point out what to do. We can use this skill for everyone in the class so that even for children who do not have ADHD, it's more easy to follow the direction or instructions. The second pedagogy is to encourage children with ADHD to sit near the front of the classroom when doing a group time, so that we can minimize distractions. The third pedagogy is to provide clear, simple instructions. I will skip this because I have talked about it before in this video already. And the last inclusive pedagogy to show you is to find another child to help as a buddy. When a child with ADHD has a buddy to help him understand what to do, he is going to be included and feel belonging. I will talk about how to manage behaviors. For instance, we teachers can be a good role models. Children can see what we are doing so that they will learn what is good and what is not good, and it makes them to manage their behaviors. Another example is to show children how you feel when something happens. When the child does not follow your directions, you can tell him that you are upset because you wanted him to do that, but he didn't listen to you. It will make him understand your perspectives and feeling as well. To manage behaviors, it is important to praise and appreciate what they have done as well. It's not only for children with ADHD, and we all have to do this for every single child, but getting down to the child's level is also important behavior management. Rather than talking from the head of the child, you need to have eye contact when talking to them, so they will have more attachment. Now, how can you set up the environment for children with ADHD? As they are easily distracted, you can put less materials or resources in the classroom so that they will be able to focus on what they are doing right now. Also, you can put a visual poster about routine. You can point a picture and tell the children what to do. For example, you can say, "It's time to go to pack away," when pointing out the picture of packing away like this. For learning experiences that you can implement, you can make something very active for them. For instance, dancing. Use music and have a dance party with them. They can use their energies in these activities, and when the sleep time comes, they might easily go to sleep. Also, I like doing "What is the time, Mr. Wolf?" This activity includes running, but at the same time they will learn how to stop. It is good for ADHD children to have an activity that they can use their energies, and they can also learn how to control their energies. I hope this video helps you to understand ADHD, and please use some tips that I introduced to you today. See you!